So, in the earlier class, we have discussed about the forearm bones. If you remember, radius and ulna. So thumb up, radius, thumb down, ulna on this side. Now today we are going to talk about a little bit more down to the wrist and hand. So after the forearm, we come to the wrist bones and the hand bones. So wrist bones, anatomically we call them carpals. What do we call them? Carpals. So carpals eight, that we say wrist bones. And these are very small bones like a marbles, the piece of marbles. The 8 wrist bones that we call the carpals. So if we look at here from the lower part of the radius and ulna, so this is the lower end, this is the end of the radius and ulna. So we can see these small pieces of bones that are connected together. So these are 8 in number. So this is the first row and the second row. So 4 bone situated in the first row and the 4 is on the second row. So after that, these 8 carpals, we have a metacarpals, that is the mid part of the hand, metacarpals. So these are 5 in number. These are 5 in number. So metacarpals so this is the mid part that we call 5 metacarpals. If I ask you guys how many bones in our one finger joint, in our one finger, how many bones we have? If you look at here, one finger we have. This is the only one bone, or there are different bones in the one finger. So we have 3 bones in the finger, right? 1, 2, and 3, and 2 in the thumb. So 3 in each finger. How many fingers you have? 4. So 4 into 3 is equal to 12, and 2 in the thumb. So total 14. So 14 phalanges we have. How many? 14 phalanges. That is your thumb and finger bones. So 8 carpals, 5 metacarpals, 14 phalanges. So people say that wrist and hand, very small structure, very small. But maximum bone is here. Small bones, flat bones, that comes under your wrist bones. So if we go deeper to the skeletal system here now, so here you can see this is the radius and this is the ulnar end, right? So radius is more broader, ulna is very less broader. So these are the bones, if you look at here now, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So these 4 bones in one row and the 4 bones in another row. So this is, we say that this is your carpals, 1, 2, 3, and 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So 8 carpals, wrist bones. Then the middle part, if you look at the middle part, this middle part is your metacarpals. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. This middle part is your metacarpals, that is your 5. It's clear? Then phalanges, thumb 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So 3 in each finger. So 12 and 2 in the thumb. So total is 14. How many? Total 14. So total bone in your wrist and hand. So the total bone in your wrist and hand, 14 plus 5 plus 8. So 27 bones. Right? 27 bones in your one wrist and hand. So 14 phalanges, that is your thumb and finger bones, 5 metacarpals, the middle part, and 8 carpals, that is your wrist bone that is situated here. Now we come slightly more deeply to the injuries here. Anatomy we know. Small bones. So inside the small bones, that is your wrist bones that we call carpals. In between them, the nerves, the blood vessels are passing. So many nerves are passing from here, so many blood vessels that is supplying to your mid part of the hand and to the fingers. How much pressure you are applying nowadays at this area? If you just remember how much pressure you are applying. When you are using the mobile phones like this way, where is the pressure? Pressure here. You can see how much compression is here right now. If you are typing, where is the pressure? Pressure is on the wrist bones. If you are using a mouse, pressure is on the wrist bones. If you go 10 years back, if you have seen the mouse pad, it was completely flat. Right? Completely flat. And just there is more contact surface area with the ground. So that's why more pressure comes to your wrist bones. It creates the compression on your wrist nerves. Nowadays, if you have seen the mouse pad is just a little bit, padding is there. You have padding so you can easily rest your wrist bones here. So it releases the pressure from your nerves. So overuse or extra use of this area create compression on your nerves which is passing from your carpals. And that leads to the condition that we say, you have heard about it, carpal tunnel syndrome. The carpal tunnel syndrome. So the symptoms of this is your pain, numbness, and tingling. So these are the common symptoms: pain, numbness, and tingling. Mostly that affects you at the time of sleeping. The sharp shooting pain, the burning pain. You feel pin-like sensations. Somebody is picking the pin inside your body, and tingling. So, how to avoid it? If you have this problem, sometimes people say surgery is most required. But sometimes we form this problem by the wrong alignment in the postures that leads to the compression of the wrist joint also. That is the unequal weight bearing on your joints. If I ask you guys that this joint is big, this joint is small, this joint is the smallest. So if I'm putting all the pressure on this joint, this is the human mechanics. The mechanics of the joint, that if you're putting the extra load on the small joint, so whatever the other structures are there, they have to be compensated. Right? They have to be compensated. So the whole pressure comes to the wrist when you're going for, suppose, downward facing dog. Or when you're going for the kneeling position, the tabletop. So problem occurs here that which part of the wrist and hand I have to activate. This is the most important thing here, to focus. So if I talk about in detail a little bit more, like if I'm going for this pose, suppose you ask the client, we don't have to slap. Sometimes you ask the people to go for downward facing dog or kneeling, they slap like this. When they slap like this, the whole pressure comes to the wrist and there is no activation. What happens? There is no activation on your finger muscle. This is loose always. So the whole pressure, you can see the creasing of my wrist. If I'm engaging the whole finger muscle, see, less crease is here. If I'm releasing it, more crease is here. So problem occurs here. So as you're trying to go for this, if you have to plant your palm on the floor, always remember you have to first feel the 4-point surface, the 4 contact point here. So this is the 4 contact point has to be grounded. It's not this slip. This, if you're slapping like this, muscles are not activated. You could not feel the grounding. And if you are creating pressure here, all the pressure comes to your wrist bone. So 4 contact point here, then you have to try to create a vacuum here. Don't try to compress this part. Try to create a vacuum, a suction, so the muscle can activate. Activate all the finger muscles. Activate all the muscles from here. It has to be activated. Don't lose it. So, if I'm going into this pose, rather to slapping like this with the beginners, this is wrong. So first and foremost, what I have to feel the 4 contact point. Here we go, right? I am creating the vacuum here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And feel the grounding here. And after that, you can feel there is no extra pressure on my shoulders and my elbows because my finger, my wrist muscles is activated. And then the shoulders go forward away. So this you have to do. If the person has already wrist pain, what you can do to give him firm padding, just roll the mat. Just roll the mat, just roll the mat, just roll the mat, and place the wrist area where there is a pain, there is a compression, place the wrist on the mat and then plant your fingers down so the whole pressure comes to your fingers, not on your wrist. Right? The whole pressure comes to your finger, not on the wrist joint. So that way also you can release the pressure on these kinds of poses. If the person has very acute pain, so just change the alignment. Don't ask the person to go into the wrist, just go onto your elbows. Just go on your elbows. So this also you can do it. So we have to avoid the pain. We have to activate the muscles. Other thing what we can do is simple exercises you can do, like do this stretch, do this stretch. But if you're trying to do this stretch, again the compression comes here. Compression. We have to release. We are using it in this plane more. Stretch on the opposite. Stretch on the opposite. If you do this, again the compression comes. If I ask you to do this movement, easy for everyone? Yes. Because you're using this muscle every day. When you're eating a food, lifting a pan, writing down, throwing a ball. So these muscles have a good memory in your brain. You are using it every day. But have you ever checked the strength of these muscles, guys? You are just taking the work from these muscles every day, taking the work. As you wake up in the morning, you are washing your face, you are going for the toothbrush, you are using these muscles. But we never focus on the strength of these muscles. So just place your one finger here, place your one finger in between the two fingers and just try to press it, check how much strength you have. There is no strength. So it's not only mobility. That's why this is the most common cause. You're working on the computers, using a mouse, using the laptops, but never strengthen these muscles. So this exercise you can do it everywhere. Whether you are traveling into the plane, whether you are traveling into the train, whether you are traveling with your partner, your friends, and you are not driving, you are just sitting. Just when you get free time, try to strengthen the muscles like this way. 10 to 20 second hold, release. 10 to 20 second hold, release. So you don't need any instrument for that. You don't need a big space for that. You need your body, your awareness, and yourself. This exercise you can do simply. Strengthen your muscles. In this exercise, you are strengthening your finger muscles, elbow and shoulder if you are doing it correctly. This opposite way you can do it. Do the namaste, reverse namaste. So all these exercises, just do the gripping. Hold it for 20 to 10 seconds, release. Hold it. You have seen that ball, yellow color smiley ball, that you can use it. You can see the resistance bar that comes into the gym, that you can use it. So you have so many things that you can use it. You can use your body resistance, use your own finger, that you can use it. So guys, this is the way that if you are doing work and you are doing after that some prevention also, so it can increase the efficiency of your work without pain. Because pain can disturb your mental aspects also. Pain, the physical pain can disturb your mental level also. The physical pain can increase your mental pain too. And then there is a less concentration on your work, less stability, and the productivity loses. So the choice is yours. So here we have discussed about again I am going to show you the muscles or the bones here, the wrist and hand. So how many bones in the wrist and the hand? So 8 carpals, wrist bones, as we have discussed earlier. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. This is the wrist bones that's situated here, right? Then metacarpals, the mid part of the hand. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? Then the phalanges, 2 in the thumb, 1, 2, 3 in each finger, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So total 14. So this is the bones on your wrist and hand. Total is 27. Then we have discussed about, so here we have discussed that completely is your 27 bones, right? 8 carpals, 5 metacarpals, 14 phalanges, that is your finger and thumb bones. So guys, if you want, it is your choice if you want the pain, compression, or you want relaxation or happy life. So carpal tunnel syndrome, compression, excessive use of this muscles here, creating extra damage to your nerves. And it starts very slowly, and very slowly. So the choice is yours, what you need, pain, discomfort, or relaxation or happiness. So pain, sharp shooting pain, like burning sensation inside your nerves. It can be radiating too. Sometimes the pain is here, but you can feel the pain is radiating from my wrist to my neck. So it can be vice versa too. Numbness, you cannot feel anything. If somebody pinches you, nothing. Tingling, you feel like pin-like sensation that somebody is picking the pin inside your nerves. So these kind of pain happens here. Exercises we have discussed earlier, that what we have to do to release this pain. Modification in the poses, that the patient or the client comes with the pain, you can release the pain easily, right? With some modification, how to correct or how to change the alignment with your client in relation to the level of pain. So it's not to force the client when the person has a wrist pain, or you could not say you have a wrist pain, you could not do this pose. We have to make the pose for everyone. You have so many modifications as we have discussed earlier. Roll the mat, give some cushion, give the forming, come to the elbows, release the wrist, strengthen your wrist muscles, give flexibility, mobility, strength plus. But no extra pressure on the wrist. If you are using it, it doesn't mean just to put all the pressure on the small joints. As we have looked earlier that these wrist muscles are very small. So release the extra pressure from the wrist, stretch it every day, strengthen it every day. So just go through it, check this all alignment, check these exercises, check the wrist anatomy with your students, with yourself, try this modification, come back to us with more questions. So till then, namaste, have a nice day.